Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back to another episode of Caffeine. I'm your host Ali Al Farai, and in the control we have Muhammad Al Harasi. Today we have a special guest whose stories resonates with the theme of persistence, determination, and the philosophy of never give up. Musaver Ahmed Hakim, CFO of MB LLC, interested in sports, particularly in cricket, and he's the one who actually introduced cricket to MB. Let us all welcome our guests. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Ali. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. How are you doing, Musaver?
I'm good, thank you. And I'm very happy to be here and a good session of caffeine, hopefully, today.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself to begin with.
As you introduced me as Musaver Ahmed Hakim, I am a sibling of a second child of three. We have three children. My father had three children. My elder brother Wasim, he works in Saudi, he's the elder one. I have a younger sister who is settled in US and she's a citizen there. And I'm all here in MB for the last 15 years. I have a master's in business administration, certification in treasury and risk and trade management. Worked with the group for almost 15 years now.
MashaAllah.
Been in the region for 26 years now. So I have spent more of my life in Middle East than I did in India.
So was Oman your first destination?
No, I worked in Saudi for 10 years, then Kuwait for a couple of years, and then came down here.
And then you decided
to stay in Oman.
And you're completely settled?
I would say so. More than me, my family is more settled here. I mean, they love it as much as they love back home. If you ask my family, they never want to go back. And inshallah, one day, we'll try and stay here as long as possible.
Inshallah. So at the beginning when I introduced you, I spoke about cricket in particular, and that you actually introduced it. So what is all this passion about cricket?
Cricket has been a sport that I have played all my life. I think the first time I picked up the bat when I was in my fifth standard. That's when I actually played a team game. We as Indians are always born with a bat. You know, every child you see in the streets and the home starts playing cricket at a very young age. Very young age we start playing cricket. And cricket is a little sophisticated game. It's picking up in Middle East. Oman has its own team which is actually qualified for next World Cup.
Is it a national team?
The national team of Oman has actually qualified for the next World Cup. Just last week the team has come back and they're preparing for the next World Cup.
Oh, okay.
Inshallah, that will be a great moment for all Omanis.
I'm a little bit curious. Are there any Omanis in the team?
There are two Omanis in the team, mostly played by expats. My son also made it to the camp, but hasn't made it to the national team. I think some of my cricketing skills and passion has rubbed off on him. Cricket is a game which is very sophisticated. You know, probably we have a 2.5 minutes video which I will share with you, which explains what the game is all about. So then when you play it out, people can understand what it is. It's a team game. It's a team of at least 18 to 20 people, but the playing is only 11.
Wait, 18 in one team?
In one team. But the 11 only play onto the ground. You have a bench strength always for kind of unforeseen emergencies. You know?
Okay.
To play cricket. If you think that regular classic baseball is getting a little stale, spice up your sports life with a little English-bred cricket. You will need 24 people, a cricket field, a cricket ball, a cricket bat, 2 wickets, 6 stumps, 4 bails, and gloves. Optional, protective gear. Step 1. Gather 22 players and 2 umpires on a 350-foot-long oval-shaped field with a 66-foot-long playing area, or pitch, in the middle, and divide the players into 2 teams. Step 2. Get the cricket ball, a cricket bat, wickets, stumps, and bails. Set the wickets up on either end of the pitch. Wickets comprise 3 vertical stumps and 2 horizontal bails. Step 3. Set up play by sending the fielding team onto the pitch to try to catch the ball and prevent runs from being scored. Choose one player on the fielding team to be the bowler. The bowler will take the ball and stand behind the wicket opposite the batter. Elect a wicket keeper to squat behind the wicket behind the batter. The bowler and wicket keeper should wear protective gear to avoid injury. Step 4. Send 2 players of the batting team to bat, a striker and a non-striker. The bowler runs and pitches the ball to the striker, who attempts to hit the ball. The non-striker will stand behind and wait to run. If the ball is hit, the 2 men run to the opposite end of the pitch. Step 5. Know the ways of getting out. The batter is out if a fielder catches the ball before it bounces, if the bowler hits a stump and knocks off a bail, if a fielder knocks a bail from a stump when the batters are going for a run, if the wicketkeeper knocks a bail from a stump before the batter returns after hitting the ball, or if the ball hits the batter but the umpire thinks the ball would have hit the wicket had the batter not been in the way. Step 6. Score runs by hitting the ball if you're a batter. After a batter hits the ball, both batters run to the opposite end of the pitch. Batters can repeatedly score runs by running back and forth to the wickets until the opposing team gets them out. If a batter hits the ball past the far boundary of the field, their team is automatically awarded 6 runs. If the ball hits the ground before it passes the boundary, the team receives 4 runs. Step 7. Win by scoring the most runs. An inning is complete when everyone on the batting team has batted. After each team plays 1 inning, the team with the most runs is the winner.
So 11 on each side. So you have to be a team player, at the same time an individual contributor.
Okay.
You just can't sit back and let the team do everything for you. You have to have individual skills. Either you're a good batsman who scores run, or you're a good bowler who stops the opposition and gets them out, or you're a good fielder who kind of stops the run in the ground. You have multiple skills, and there are people who have all these 3 skills become very good very fast.
So then in cricket, is it that if you are a batsman, you only specialize in bats, or you also have to bowl? You have to do everything?
No. Batsmen usually don't become good bowlers. The first few people who come to score runs are batsmen, but they are supposed to be good fielders, stop the ball when their bowlers are bowling.
Okay.
So good batsman and a good fielder is a minimum requirement for a batsman. He just can't be a batsman and say, I will not take any fielding. The bowler needs to be a good bowler and a fielder. So fielding becomes a very common point in this game. Something which is very common in the life, people need to get educated, people need to find jobs, but then soft skills are very important for you to get ahead.
Okay.
So fielding is kind of a soft skill that you need to develop when you're actually playing this game. A lot of people don't understand that, when you play a game, it actually builds up your personality. So you play it at an young age as a team's person. See, cricket is a game where you learn to handle failure more than winning. Because there could be chances when you're playing a game, you don't get to bowl, you don't get to bat, because the first 3 people have managed to win the game for you.
Oh, yeah. So you can just sit there, relax.
Relax. You are relaxing, but you're frustrated at the same time because you did not get a chance to perform. This is a great leveler. One day you could score 100 runs and the next day you could be out for 0. You understand what I'm saying? So this game is a very good one, which not only helps you to build your physique, body, mental strength, it also helps you develop a lot of skills. For example, anti-fragility, if you talk about. It's a concept where fragile is something which is easily breakable, right? Anti-fragile is something coming back strong. Now you make 0 runs in the first match. Then you need to develop quickly, rebuild yourself so that in the next game you perform. Otherwise, you keep failing continuously, you're out of the team. That is one. And then self-efficacy, where not only you have faith, but you keep motivating other people. Your team members cheering, you're doing good. That helps people to believe in their values, believe in their strength. Sometimes somebody's just, you must have seen matches in the TV. A lot of people from the bench shouting and when you're playing in the home crowd, your whole country is cheering for you. There is a different high. You can see I'm getting goosebumps when I'm talking about it. It's a different high, the performance. And then it also teaches you how to take the game till the last if you want to win. Just don't swing at every ball. It's like sometimes you win, arguments, conflicts. When you're in job also, it applies to you a lot when you're in the job. For example, conflict handling. When you're batting, for example, you have fielders all around your bat. They sledge you. Sledging is very bad. I mean, they sledge you like, this guy doesn't know how to hold the bat. Oh, look, he's sweating. Look, he's doing this. They make you so nervous that you intend to prove to them that you're good and try to hit a rash shot and get out. So, but you can't become enemies because they're sledging. The moment you step out of the ground, you're friends. This is something which you learn to carry into your professional life. When you have conflicts in office, it is only on the part of that particular argument or a point. You can't carry it further. You see,
don't take work home.
Exactly. Conflicts too personal. So this teaches you a lot because you're playing from a very young age and you're playing against many teams, and your team players keep changing.
Yeah.
But this is something, that is what the game does for you. And this is a game that tells you never give up. Because you start bowling and the opposition, let's say, scores 500 runs or 300 runs for arguments. You have to chase it. You need to plan how to keep on chasing it. Don't give up until the last ball. I don't know if you've seen the last match between Afghanistan and Australia, this World Cup. There were no chances for Australia to win. Their last batsman, he was on 29 when he had cramps. He was on 35 when both his legs cramped and he fell down on the ground.
Wow.
And they needed 180 runs to win.
But then there is no replacement for him?
No. Because the people who would come after him were bowlers. They could not chase, or they are not capable of chasing 103. You retire him and there are very high chances of getting out. Okay. This man stays there, gets his, the electrolytes, stands there, and out of the 189 runs, he scores 185.
Wow.
And they won the match. It's history. It teaches you to stay on, don't give up, wait, persistence. So this is something that the game makes you do. An interesting game. I mean, we have a team in MB, we play, all the group companies play, but I see very less participation by Omanis. You guys should come up sometime.
First, let us understand the game, and then maybe, who knows, maybe I'll be interested.
No, you will be interested.
Is it ongoing?
It is ongoing, and we play in the company with a very soft tennis ball. The real game is played with real hard ball. That's why you have a lot of protection gears. You have helmets, you have pads and stuff like that. But the game that we play is only tennis ball.
Okay,
it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe.
So then, why, I always ask this question, why Indians always go towards cricket, maybe less football and other sports? Why cricket?
I think it's in our DNA. See, 1983 is when India won the first World Cup. Ever since that, every child tried to copy their heroes who won the World Cup for you. India has not won a World Cup in any other tournament, football or anything. I think we won once in hockey though, in Olympics. But cricket, we have always been crazy about it. And we Indians have so many heroes across the world, and those big heroes are celebrated across the cricketing world. Kapil Dev, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli. Oh yes, they are celebrated heavily. Sachin Tendulkar is somebody who has scored the maximum runs ever possible in the Indian history. He broke the record of Don Bradman. And then there is a young guy, Virat Kohli, who is breaking Sachin's record. And tomorrow there is another guy who will come in and break the record. So, this game is ever evolving. The people are evolving. The game is changing. And I'm just talking about the game which I have played is called One Day International, yani 50 overs each side. Each over consists of 6 balls. So 300 balls for Team A and 300 balls for Team B. But the real skill comes in when they play this game for 5 days.
What?
This is played for 5 days constantly.
I thought it's like football. You have this 90 minutes and then it's done.
The one day is played for almost 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours. And the other game is called Test Cricket, and it's played for 5 days. Imagine the mental strength that you need to carry for 5 days.
Wow.
Physical and mental.
I never knew this.
Yeah. This is where I say, the theme of never give up comes from cricket. You never ever throw away your wicket. You stay there, you never give up. I think same thing applies to my life whenever I have been, I started off straight from college, worked for a company, international American company in Saudi Arabia. Very new. You're coming straight from college, going to Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, those years, I'm talking 1996.
Yeah.
Very, very, very conservative country at that point of time, and you're coming from India, which is a very open market. Stayed there, worked for them. The office was cut and replaced to Gurgaon to set up a back office.
Okay.
I said, I'm not leaving the country. I came back from India, I'm not going back.
Oh, you didn't want to go back home?
I didn't want to go back. I stayed there, and then I moved into another company called Lucent Technologies. I moved from a very junior position to immediately supervisory position in a span of 3 years.
Inshallah. Wow.
Even when I was in Bechtel, it is a company which has built all of Aramco, SABIC, the Jubilee Industrial City. And starting from college, this was a good thing to see.
Yeah.
My most memorable experience was carrying cash to a power plant in desert, with a cuff to your hand and to the suitcase.
Wow.
Imagine that. Nobody wanted to do it. I mean, there were a lot of, it is. They were scared. And I was like, let me try it out, find out what. And we went to the site to do salaries in cash.
Those old days.
And people really treated me like an angel there, because they've been delayed for salaries for 3 days. They were waiting for it. And I go there and they say, you took the risk to bring salaries for us. Oh man, the way they treated me make me feel very good. And that helps you become humble.
Yeah.
Life comes easy to you. You think this is how it is for everybody. It is not. And then you appreciate the good things that God has given you.
SubhanAllah. So was finance your interest from the beginning, or was there any other interests?
Well, I wanted to be a doctor.
A doctor?
Yeah. So I was supposed to study medicine. But in India, you have to do your tests, entrance test. And those days it was a general entrance test called MSET. I didn't do great in that. And my father was against donation or capitalization fee that you pay to get seats, So he was against it, and then he asked me, if you can't qualify, you don't deserve to be a doctor. Do something else.
Yeah. But what was your motive? Why did you want to be a doctor?
I was good in science always. And then I come from a very small town back in Andhra Pradesh, coastal side, where we have this sea. We haven't seen much doctors over there. And I had seen my grandfather suffer. Lack of medical supplies, and most of them would be dying because of medical negligence. And we had a lot of plants, and we had a lot of domesticated animals, and I would enjoy treating them. The goats, the dogs, enjoy treating them, tying bandages to them and all, made you feel very good about it.
So it was more of a vet, I would say.
It made me feel good helping, like I said, going ahead and getting duas from people actually make me feel good. So, and then when I did not get this, I just went and joined commerce for my bachelor's.
You were not disappointed?
I was very disappointed. I rebelled. I did things which I was not very proud of, neither were my parents. But then, thank God, the stabilization factor in my life is my wife, who had come into my life at that point of time. Got properly guided. And then I finished my commerce. Then I went for my master's, finished my master's, and was placed in a job from the campus. And the same company was looking to send somebody to Saudi. That's how I landed into Saudi.
Oh, okay. That was a good start,
even in Saudi, in Bechtel, I started cricket, by the way. That company I had introduced
Everywhere
cricket.
you go, you have to make sure you do that.
They had baseball there, because we used to live in American compounds. And we used the baseball, and we got somebody get us from India a mat, which looks like a pitch. So we would put it as a mat and then play cricket on that.
Okay, that brought me a question. You said baseball.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Because I see them almost the same, the cricket and baseball.
More or less similar. Baseball is when you throw the ball straight onto the player. Here you're supposed to pitch it off the ground.
But then there's a running and everything, all the same?
The running, you don't have a partner in baseball. When you're batting, when you have the stick in your hand, you don't have a partner. Here you have a partner who runs along with you. And you have to have good coordination. Imagine you leave your spot and run for a score, and the other guy doesn't, then you get out. So you need to build communication skills as well, and that communication is so split of the second. You just have to do it by the eye.
True.
And then if you both are good, you can deceive the fielding side also.
Sign language.
You can deceive. You can say come but don't come. So you know how you're deceiving. You say two but you run one. You can confuse. So if you both are good communicators among each other and have a good understanding, you can take on the whole level people who are fielding against you.
SubhanAllah.
So it gives you a lot of fun if you play. I mean, it is really good.
I think we should start working on that. Khalas, after this session, let's have a chat. And
I think we will have one in January, February anyways, because we do the sports of MB in the first quarter of the year.
Okay.
So this year probably you can do a live coverage as well as come and see how it is played and all that.
Yeah, first time I'll just watch. And then maybe second time, let's practice it. I think I need to bring my stamina back.
One of our old friends, Ode, who was in HR of MB, he had come in for a couple of matches. He was organizing us along with us.
And he actually played.
He really wanted to play the game, but he did not enter the game. But in the break, he just took some shots, at the ball and everything, trying to get a feel of it. So Ode was very much interested. Maybe this time we can interest a communication team.
I watched a movie called Lagan.
Is
that story true?
No, it's not true.
It's not.
It's fictionalized story, yeah.
Because they're talking about the introduction of cricket.
Yes. But it is not a true story. It is definitely a fiction. I can tell you that.
Oh man, I'm disappointed now.
No, it is fiction. It is fiction. But there is a movie called MS Dhoni, which you can see, which gives you a good idea about how, again, that's a good story of never give up.
Okay.
He was one of the guys who fought and fought and fought and then finally came into the team, and he was instrumental for us to win 2 World Cups. One the shorter version and the other one the longer version.
Yeah.
So he's another good example of never give up.
I think I've seen part of it. It's the actor who passed away, right?
Yes, yes.
Excellent. So let's talk about your journey in terms of corporate, moving out of the pitch now.
Okay.
Was there any challenge, because we're talking about giving up in life, and sometimes you need to have that persistence. Was there any moment in your life when you had challenges and you just backed off and said, I cannot do anything, I cannot continue anymore?
Not exactly, but what has happened is, the market keeps changing. The way I started my office, or the first job I did, was in treasury, as a treasury back office accountant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I wanted to be a fund manager. That's what I did my specialization in my master's. Okay. Fund manager, again, cash management. So that's what I did in the beginning. Bechtel was good, Lucent was good, and then a time came in when things became stagnant. Because Saudi Arabia, like Oman in those days, also did not have sophisticated banking. Treasury is fun when you're doing sophisticated deals. If you're just doing a very plain vanilla type of transactions, you don't enjoy it. So at one point of time, when my son was born and things were very stable, it was a straight line, I started to become frustrated. I was like, things are not moving here, I need to do something about it, or I need to change my profession. I said, I'm not changing my profession. I have done this, I'm going to do better at this. So I did a certification from US and then moved out to Kuwait. Yeah. And this was another company which was massively growing. It was called Public Warehousing Company, owned by Tariq Sultan, our Sultan Center that you see here.
Oh, yeah.
They had got a prime vendor contract from Department of Government Services, US. It's a huge contract with huge margin. And the money was so much that they had gone ahead and purchased some new companies, which suddenly had 400 offices across the world. And I was brought in there to do their treasury build-up system and all that. So we had a very great team. We had a British gentleman as our group treasurer, and I was working under him as a treasurer. So we implemented systems and everything. It had so many offices there that I would never get a chance to see my son grow. Because you go home, you plug on. You couldn't leave office early because everywhere across the world the treasury was working. For example, in Singapore, they wanted to sell Singapore dollars and they wanted to sell Kuwaiti dinars and buy Singapore dollars to make a payment to their supplier. Somebody has to approve it, and that's me.
So almost 24/7 with
You're working 24/7, and then things started to pile up so much. I had to take a call. I said, should I give it up, do something else? Allah's mercy, I got MB's call. I came
out
here,
of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, there was a consultant who was looking for a position. MB was trying to do a treasury setup and everything. So I came here, got selected, and again, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, because I gave an interview and I got selected at a time when the world was melting. 2008, 2009 financial crisis. 2008 September, when it was at the peak of meltdown, was when I got a chance here to join. I joined January 2009.
2008 was the time when I actually quit my job.
It was a turmoil for all finance people, especially treasury, because the world collapsed in such a manner in financial markets. All of us were in trouble. I came in here. I thought this is a small company. I will build up a team. It will be easy to do. It was not as easy as you see on paper. And today it is multiplied, I think, 10 times more, and it's become much bigger than that. When you come here, I was thinking, okay, MB holding a loan. And then I had to do Mawarid. And then we had to do MBPS. Then we had to do... And the transaction was so sophisticated. We did the first bond. I joined in 9, and 2010 we did the first bond, which is $320 million. High yield, Reg S, listed in Luxembourg. Successful.
None of them happened in Saudi? None of that?
None of that. They were all bilateral, very simple transactions. I did one in Kuwait though for $800, but I was not the one leading it. I was behind the scenes because we had a treasurer there, a highly qualified treasurer, Andrew, So I worked under him and learned a lot of things. When we came here, and Sushil, again a seasoned player, he was leading the bond, but he let me learn as much as possible. We did a big roadshow. I think chairman and his team went to US side. Me, Osama, Sushil went to European side. We did the roadshow. I think we traveled to 8 countries in 12 days, and we were back again in Oman to ensure all the paperwork is done. But the build up to that had taken almost 9 months. and then 1 month of roadshow and closing. So 10 months of transaction. That's a lifelong learning.
Yeah.
And
you've been to a school now.
Exactly. And we would not sleep. I remember Manoj, if you remember Manoj, he was at the lawyer's office in London and he was sleeping there in their sofas. And I was sleeping at my house in my sofas with my TV on because he would ask for information and I would send it from him on the fly. So these are the things that actually build us.
Oh, yeah.
And this kind of communication, again, if you pick it up from the game into here, it all works. It all works. Sports is definitely, I think that's why schools introduce sports. We don't realize it.
Yes.
I think that's why school pushes for sports period and then they ask children to take part of it. It actually builds character.
Yeah, leadership, team building, all that kind of things.
Yes. And the bond, again, we followed it up, prepaid it before its maturity. We paid it up in 4 years. That was another big transaction that we did. With Bank Muscat, we bought in 4 banks to do the whole transaction. So treasury was good and it was fun and I was speaking very nicely at that point of time. And Sushil decided to retire. Sushil decided to retire and then,
he said,
your antenna goes up. You say, okay, if my boss is retiring, should I take it up? And then you need to do self-evaluation, right?
Yeah.
Can I take it up?
It's
altogether a different game.
Yeah.
I'm playing one-day international. Do I need to play the 5-day test? You need to get up for it. You need to go for long runs now. You need to build stamina. Again, by Allah's mercy, COVID hit. COVID is a bad thing, but COVID hit.
Sometimes it's good.
The way it has worked out is Sushil went for his daughter's marriage and he got stuck there.
Oh, okay.
Amar had come in and he was relatively new.
Yes.
So me and Amar had to learn the ropes without Sushil actually being present here. We were actually kind of running the show from home. There was no office, no hand-holding and everything, and we were learning. So me and Amar were like 2 batsmen at the crease, communicating and trying to score runs, At the same time, our sukuk matured. And in this market, you couldn't refinance it. And we obviously did not have money because of COVID to pay it.
Yeah.
So we again formulated a plan how to play this game, and we did, and we extended it for 2 years. That was an exercise which me and Amar, our wavelength started to tie up. We started to score small runs, slowly build the score. And we matured. We rolled over that sukuk for 2 years very successfully. Wow. And then I had learned a lot of things because Sushil was not around. We had to close the books. So slowly learning different parts of what's happening around. And then thankfully, Amar realized I'm overloaded and we brought in a treasurer.
Yeah.
So treasurer came in, so I became a corporate finance guy. And the corporate finance guy, you have the responsibility to ensure you do things right. 2 years of that, I think, has marinated me good enough. I think the shareholders, Sheikh Saeed and Amar, saw it fit. Beginning of this month, I have been announced as CFO.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a very good success story. Alhamdulillah, you've shared. And I think it's all steps that we take through, since childhood until we reach. Those are the moments where we learn things and take us and bring us where we are right now.
I absolutely agree. I think, again, like I said, from the game, you learn few things, not to give up, come back stronger. You might make a mistake, but come back stronger. There are no right or wrong answers, right? It is the answer at that point of time which suits best. You have to do it. You have to take the bitter pill and swallow it, move forward.
Let me take you back now. If you're asked to go back and become a doctor, would you want to do that?
I have enjoyed my life a lot and I have seen my doctor friends not having personal life. Now that I have enjoyed or blessed with a personal life where I can give time to my family, I think I might say I'm suited where I am. And sometimes you decide and you ask, but the person on the top who disposes, he gives you the right thing. I think you should take it with 2 hands, thank him and say, this is what I'm good at. This is where I've been guided. Alhamdulillah. Be thankful.
Yeah, nothing is random. I think everything happens with a plan that is by Allah. We don't know about. We might say, I don't like where I am right now, but maybe that's a step that could lead you to something better. You don't see it at the moment. And when you reach there, you say,
I agree with you. Yeah. There is a very old saying which me and Kumar, the MBPS CFO, Kumar has worked with us in the same team. There are 2 things we talk about always. One is the old saying by Amitabh Bachchan, which says, no, not that one. He says I will translate it in English. He says, if you get what you wish, it's good. If you don't get it, it's much better.
Yes.
Because what you get is being given to you from the Lord, so it is much better. So we keep talking to ourselves, because me and Kumar have hit a lot of roadblocks, and we talk a lot, so we were the two batsmen when Sushil was around, scoring runs.
So you're playing the same team.
Yeah, same team. And the other thing we say is there are transactions when we used to. There is a famous Shah Rukh Khan dialogue again, Baniye ka dimag and Miyan Bhai ki daring, which basically means the mind of a Lawati and the daring of a Muslim. So we used to do those transactions. We used to think of transactions in such a manner, or closing a gap when we had. By his mind and my daring, we would take the risk
each other,
which we still do whenever we talk about. Yeah. So he's been a good association. And then now we have Vinod, who is come in as a GM and Chief Treasury Officer. He's another one who comes from GRE unit, and he's a smart guy. So again, now he's become a partner, let's say.
MashaAllah.
Team building is always good.
Always.
So we have a fantastic team. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. It's good to hear that. So it's clear that the philosophy of never give up has been your guiding light in various aspects or facets of life. Before we wrap up, anything particular that you want to tell our audience?
About myself?
In general, about your experiences, and what would you advise people?
Like I said, always follow this theme of never give up. Some things come to you, some things don't. But if you set your mind on a certain thing, push it to your maximum. Tomorrow you should not say, if I had done little bit more effort, I could reach there. Don't do that. Do your full effort. If it doesn't come, then it doesn't come. You're not destined for it. But your effort should never be the less, or be the reason for you not getting it. It should be other reasons which are beyond your control. And things that are not beyond your control are guided by Allah.
Very true.
So believe in yourself. Don't give up. Do your best. Inshallah, Allah is there to guide you.
Inshallah, give your full effort, and that's what's been given by Allah. It says, Rabbana wa la tuhammilna ma la taqata lana bih. Don't give us more than what we can give, we can do, which means we have that effort that we can do, and we will not be going over or beyond that. So thank you very much, Musaver.
Thank you, Ali. I really enjoyed my session with you.
Thank you. We learned a lot from you.
Thank you.
With your enlightening stories.
Thank you.
And thanks to our audience. All I can say is, may your day be filled with inspiration and determination. Thank you for watching.